Howdy data pros! Let's have an applied and business-oriented overview about open data in less than 10 minutes. Open data concept exists since to back the mid-19th century with open government projects like the weather forecast and GPS projects. More recently, upon the 2008 financial crisis, populations, corporations, and governments requested mutually and loudly more transparency and openness. Those conditions led governments to take the lead on this movement, like Mr. Barack Obama's administration that put open data as one of its highest priorities. In this framework, Mr. Barack Obama said that open data is going to help launch more startups, more businesses, and help more entrepreneurs come up with products and services that we haven't even imagined yet. On the other hand, Joel Gurin, one of the leaders of open data movement among Mr. Obama's administration, stated in his great book, Open Data Now, that open data can be best described as accessible public data that people, companies, and organizations can use to launch new ventures, analyze patterns and trends, make data-driven decisions, and solve complex problems. So why such big blare about open data? The answer becomes clearer when taking a look at some numbers regarding open data. According to a report published in 2013 by McKinsey, open data has a $3 trillion approximate potential annual value worldwide. The number of open data-based mobile apps only among the niche of medical health care is expected to exceed the 100,000. And according to the same report, there are more than 1 million data sets that are already made open by governments worldwide. On the other hand, according to the European Data Portal, the open data market size is estimated at a cumulative value of more than 300 billion euros between 2016 and 2020, only within the European Union borders. Open data created 25,000 new jobs and is expected to save up to 1.7 billion euros for European Union public administration in 2020. Those numbers can be explained by the value that is brought by open data. Indeed. When speaking about open data, it's very often related to building innovative solutions aiming at making better decisions. In this framework, always based on European Data Portal, thanks to this kind of open data decision aiding solutions, more than 600 million hours are saved, which is equivalent to roughly 28 billion euros. Energy usage is optimized and led to a 16% less energy used, in addition to more than 7,000 lives saved thanks to a more efficient decision-making processes and quicker responses. More lives are also saved on roads thanks to a 5.5% less road fatalities. Open data is also a big player in the green business by allowing saving more than 2,500 hours in finding parkings in big and crowded cities. All these facts are not only wish lists. Open data is indeed already behind huge business successes like, for example, Uber, Yelp, Google, Zillow, Expedia, Foursquare, all the weather applications, and GPS applications like Garmin and TomTom. Those success stories base heavily their business models and technical solutions on open data and data in a more general perspective. So it's important to situate open data among the wider data picture. Let's dive into it. Open data can be considered in its majority as the intersection of other data sources like, first, government data. Indeed, governments are the main provider of open data through public data portals that encompass data sources from its different components and agencies. Comes then corporate data. It may be counterintuitive, but corporations have also often high interest in making data open, whether for their brand image, through a better transparency, or simply because it's part of their business model. Comes then personal data, which is one of the hottest topics when dealing with open data, since it raises the question of data privacy. The personal open data relates to data that belongs to personal data that people accept to share openly with the rest of the world. An example of it would be the comments and tweets on social media that represent a valuable and rich data for many businesses. Finally comes big data that can also intersect with all previous sorts of data. An example of it would be machine-to-machine and Internet of Things data, internet data, etc. Now, let's take a look at the data categories that one can expect from open data sources. Based on data.gov, which is the official US government open data portal, open data categories can be grouped into 12 parts: agriculture, climate, consumer, ecosystem, education, energy, health, local government, manufacturing, maritime, ocean, and public safety. Those categories are the ones that are generally seen in open data portals worldwide, especially in the framework of national government portals. So, what's the current status of open data all over the world? In order to have an idea about it, let's take a look at the Open Data Inventory report published by the Open Data Watch site in 2016. The authors report a global open data score in each country based on the open data status, based on the same criteria, reflecting to which extent the open data movement is well established in the country of interest. A general overview of the scores show that there is a clear room of improvement worldwide, but shows also that the open data movement is taken very seriously, not only in the developed countries, but also in the developing ones. Indeed, Brazil, India, China, Russia, and South Africa, to name a few, have promising statuses, even if a room of improvement is still exists. This globalization of open data opens huge opportunities for entrepreneurs and innovators to build and deploy solutions with high added value globally. Let's now take a more practical view on open data sources by stating a few great ones. The provided open data sources, examples, can be divided into government and corporate open data. Among the government open data, one can mention data.gov, European Union Open Data Portal, NASA Exoplanet Archive, the World Bank Open Data Portal, and the World Health Organization Data Portal. Among the corporate open data sources, one can cite Google Public Data, DBpedia, which is the open data portal for Wikipedia, Amazon Web Services data portal, in addition to social media APIs like Twitter for developers and Facebook for developers. Open data is clearly a powerful tool and a promising opportunity. On the other hand, like all big opportunities, it also has its own challenges. Those challenges can also be considered as considerable opportunities, especially for entrepreneurs. There are three main challenges to open data. First, privacy and security. In fact, many business ideas and models are built in the framework of privacy and security, aiming at providing better solutions for data security and even proposing to private people to monetize their private data. Second, quality and standardization. Many open data sources contain data in its raw format that can't be used as is. This sort of data can be worked and cleaned up by data scientists and specialists who can make very lucrative business models around it. Comes then measure the real impact of open data. It's hard to follow up the exact usage of open data made open by governments. This is a major pain point for governments since they spend considerable amounts and resources to make it happen, and they should justify the return on investment to their parliaments and populations. Where there is a painful issue, there is also a business opportunity for those who can figure it out. So that was a short overview about open data in 10 minutes. You are warmly invited to leave comment if you have any question or request about the content. I will be delighted to bring more clarifications and build more content of this kind. If you are interested in the data industry and entrepreneurship around it, then you are at the right place. Push the like and subscribe buttons to stay tuned with a huge upcoming content development. Talk to you soon. Take care.